Welcome to Everyday Budgeting. Hope you all are doing well. February marks the second month of the year, and it's the perfect time to recalibrate your financial goals and set a strong foundation for the months ahead. Whether you're new to budgeting or just need a reminder of the best practices, setting up your budget for February doesn't have to be daunting. By taking the time to plan ahead, you can ensure that your finances stay on track and that you stay in control of your spending. In this comprehensive guide, we'll walk you through the steps to effectively set up a budget for February. We'll dive into actionable strategies, tips, and tools to keep your finances organized, save money, and avoid common pitfalls. First step, review your financial situation. Know where you stand. Before jumping into a new budget for February, it's important to evaluate your current financial situation. This will give you a clear picture of your spending habits, income sources, and any outstanding debts or financial goals you need to prioritize. Start by identifying your monthly income. This includes your salary, side gigs, freelance work, or any passive income streams you may have. Make sure to calculate your net income, the amount you take home after taxes, benefits, and other deductions. Then, take a look at your fixed and variable expenses. Fixed expenses include things like rent, mortgage, utilities, car payments, and insurance. These are predictable and don't change much month to month. Variable expenses, on the other hand, include groceries, transportation, entertainment, and other discretionary spending. After that, review any outstanding debts, including credit cards, student loans, or personal loans. Know the interest rates on your debts so you can prioritize paying off high-interest debt first. By getting a clear picture of your income, expenses, and debt obligations, you'll know exactly where you stand financially, making it easier to make informed decisions as you set up your budget. Second step, set specific financial goals for February. One of the most important steps in setting up your budget is defining your financial goals. February is a great month to refresh your goals, whether they're short-term or long-term. Setting clear, achievable goals will give your budget direction and purpose. Short-term goals. These might include things like saving for an emergency fund, paying down a credit card balance, or saving for a weekend getaway. These goals should be realistic and measurable within the short term. Long-term goals. Long-term goals include bigger financial objectives such as buying a house, paying off student loans, or building a retirement fund. While these might not be fully achievable in February alone, setting aside a portion of your income for these goals is a small savings goals. A common goal for many individuals is to build an emergency fund. Ideally, you should aim for 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a liquid savings account. This fund can protect you from unexpected expenses such as medical bills, car repairs, or a sudden job loss. Third step, choose a budgeting method that works for you. There are several budgeting methods you can use to manage your money, but the key is to choose one that aligns with your financial goals and lifestyle. Here are a few popular budgeting strategies. The 50-30-20 rule. This simple method allocates 50% of your income to needs, essential expenses, 30% to wants, non-essential spending, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. This is a great way to keep your finances balanced and ensure that you're saving for the future while still enjoying life today. Zero-based budgeting. Zero-based budgeting requires that you allocate every dollar of your income to specific categories. At the end of the month, your budget should balance to zero, meaning every dollar is accounted for. This method is highly detailed and can help you optimize your spending. The envelope system. For those who prefer a more hands-on approach, the envelope system involves dividing your cash into envelopes labeled with different spending categories, e.g., groceries, entertainment, dining out. Once the money in the envelope is gone, you can't spend any more in that category for the month. This method helps you stay disciplined with your spending. The 80-20 rule. With this method, you allocate 80% of your income to expenses and savings, and you keep 20% for discretionary spending. It's a more relaxed version of budgeting, but still ensures that your essential expenses and savings are covered. Fourth step, track your expenses carefully. One of the most important aspects of budgeting is tracking your spending. Even if you set a budget, it's easy to fall off track if you don't monitor where your money is going. Fortunately, there are several tools and apps that can help you stay organized. Budgeting apps. There are several free and paid apps that can help you keep track of your spending. Apps like Mint, YNAB, You Need a Budget, and Pocket Guard automatically track your expenses, categorize your purchases, and give you an overview of your financial situation. Many of these apps sync with your bank accounts and credit cards for real-time tracking. Manual tracking. If you prefer a more hands-on approach, you can track your expenses manually by writing them down in a notebook or spreadsheet. This method requires more effort but can be just as effective if you stay consistent. Review your spending weekly. Set aside time each week to review your spending and compare it to your budget. This will give you the opportunity to make adjustments before the end of the month. If you're overspending in one category, you can cut back in another to stay on track. Fifth step, plan for unexpected expenses. While it's important to stick to your budget, life is full of surprises, and unexpected expenses are bound to pop up. Whether it's an urgent car repair, an unplanned medical bill, or a last-minute gift for a loved one, having a buffer in your budget can help you manage these surprises without derailing your financial goals. Create an emergency fund. As mentioned earlier, building an emergency fund should be a top priority. Even setting aside a small amount each month will add up over time and provide peace of mind, knowing that you have a safety net in place for unexpected expenses. Be flexible. While it's essential to have a budget, it's also important to be flexible. If an emergency arises, adjust your budget accordingly. You can allocate less toward discretionary spending or delay a non-urgent purchase to accommodate for the unexpected costs. Sixth step, avoid common budgeting mistakes. When setting up your budget for February, be mindful of some common budgeting mistakes that can make it harder to stay on track. Not budgeting for small expenses. It's easy to forget about small expenses like coffee runs, parking fees, or the occasional treat. These expenses can add up quickly and throw off your budget. Make sure to account for these small items, even if they seem insignificant. Being too strict. While discipline is important, being too strict with your budget can lead to frustration and burnout. Allow yourself some wiggle room for fun and leisure activities, especially if you've been doing well with your savings goals. Ignoring long-term savings. It's easy to focus on short-term goals like paying bills and buying groceries, but don't forget to plan for long-term savings. Even a small contribution toward your retirement fund or investment account can make a big difference over time. Seventh step, stay motivated and adjust as needed. Budgeting isn't a one-time activity. It's an ongoing process. Stay motivated throughout the month by regularly reviewing your progress and adjusting as needed. Celebrate small victories, whether it's sticking to your budget for a week or paying off a portion of your debt. If you find that something isn't working, don't be afraid to adjust your budget. The goal is to stay on track financially while living within your means. If you need to tweak your spending categories or goals to fit your lifestyle, do so. Conclusion: take control of your finances. Setting up a budget for February is an opportunity to take control of your finances and set yourself up for success in the months ahead. By reviewing your financial situation, setting specific goals, choosing the right budgeting method, and staying disciplined with your tracking, you can ensure that you remain on track and achieve your financial objectives. Remember, the key to successful budgeting is consistency. Stick to your plan, stay motivated, and adjust as necessary. With the right strategies in place, you'll be on your way to a healthier financial future, starting with a fresh and well-organized budget for February.